I was born in Naples and studied both painting and chemistry. These two paths eventually converged in my work. But to be clear, in what I do, chemistry is not a conceptual reference, it's a tool. My work is about putting molecular transformation at the service of painting. It's a patented technique I developed in 2021, which allows a painting to change autonomously and cyclically over time, without any digital support. No projection, no screens. The transformation occurs through alternating thin base of classical pigments and reactive pigments, designed to respond chemically to external stimuli. Sometimes through catalytic reactions, sometimes naturally, with time. The Temporama challenges the traditional idea of painting as something fixed in time. In my work, painting becomes a living process, subject to decay, rebirth, erosion, mutation. When the viewer sees a portrait change before their eyes, it's not just a visual effect, it becomes a moment of destabilization. If they've projected themselves into that image, emotionally, spiritually, then seeing it change can trigger a transformation inside them as well. This is alchemy. In 2020, I visited the Chapel of San Severo and saw a decayed portrait of Prince Raimondo di Sandro, surrounded by paintings that had resisted time beautifully. I had started wondering, what if the prince himself had orchestrated this decay as a last joke? That idea led me to attempt my own alchemical experiment, where deterioration was no accident, but design. At first, I imagined transformation happening across decades. Paintings that would decay like flesh, but I realized that most people wouldn't care about a painting that slowly changes over 50 years. So I shifted. I began working with fast and reversible reactions. The result is a canvas that changes in minutes. You can watch it bloom, rot, and resurrect in front of you. It comes from perception. I often work from black and white photographs, because in that emptiness I can imagine waves of pure color, hallucinatory, luminous, and most useful. My palette is not built, it's remembered, as if I'm painting memories I never lived. Yes, the way between the circle and the square, which represent static perfection and rigidity. Only one form carries energy, the undulating wave. It's the only shape that exists in both matter and movement. And I believe it's the fundamental structure of perception itself. Everything we see, feel, remember, it all has an oscillatory nature. I treat painting as a meditative act, an exercise in inner perception. I spend time observing, in silence, black and white photographic reference, and in this introspective stillness, I begin to perceive waves of pure, almost hallucinatory color, like lights shimmering in the dark. I translate those onto the canvas, not based on external composition, but from internal sensation. It comes from what I call percezione ondulatoria. Scientific studies, from Chevreul to modern neuroscience, tell us that color perception is always a matter of contrast. What surrounds a hue determines how we perceive it. But I go in the opposite direction. I try to capture the subjective vibration of color. These are not logical palettes, they're visual records of perceptive trance states. Color, in this case, is not description, it's energy. Exactly. Many artists have dealt with time using installation, video, performance, but in my work, transformation becomes a pictorial language in itself. That's what's new. The canvas breathes. The paint ages, regenerates, and that's done purely with pigments and chemistry. It's a revolution within the syntax of painting. Yes, like a mirror that doesn't just reflect you, but evolves as you look. In that moment, if you are in resonance with the work, you may feel your perception shifting. That's where the temporama becomes more than a surface. It becomes a process. Of course. First, there's matter, the pigment, the chemical layer, the tangible support. Then comes energy, which is called the vibrational language through which emotion and perception flow. And finally, time, not as chronology, but as evolving incarnation. When these three levels interact, material reaction, chromatic vibration, and temporal unfolding, the painting transcends its own boundaries. That's the miracle I seek. When a work moves across all three dimensions and leaves something changed in the person standing before it.